Hello, everybody. It is once again Sunday night and time for another one of our sessions of Like Clockwork. I am Danny, the game master for this game, and we're going to go around the table and say hi to everybody that is joining us. Tonight, we are missing Sin. They are celebrating the Lunar New Year. So happy Lunar New Year to everybody out there. I hope you have a wonderful and safe celebration for those who are celebrating it. And good night for everybody overall. Somebody who is here is Joey, but his DoorDash was giving him trouble, so he only just got his food. And since we don't want to look at him stuffing his face, there he is.
It's like the only rule I have on streaming with Rem is like, just don't eat, because it's right up on our stupid faces. We don't need to see like the mastication happening.
I wouldn't want to eat on stream, but some people here, Rem included, was so nice to be like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to make you wait another hour to eat. And I appreciate that. Joey doesn't have much going on, but I did find out that this place serves a 9-patty burger, which is something I'm going to have to do in the future because it sounds chaotic. I don't know how it comes or how it's shipped, but I want to know the whole experience. So I'm very excited for that one day and the heart palpitations I'll feel after.
Wow.
9 patties doesn't sound like that many.
The picture looked very intimidating.
I don't. Yeah. So, Elizabeth. Hi.
Hi. I am here every Sunday, and then I am every other Monday on ESP D&D, playing Stormwatch. You can hear me on the Alternate Archives with Power Rangers, Becoming Mighty and Morphin podcast with Panabon as my Zordon. Yeah, other than that, that's about it, I think, for right now.
All right. Well, then we will move up to John. What's going on?
I'm currently not eating a 9-patty burger, which I'm kind of sad about, but I have a burrito coming. I'm very happy about that. It's a really cool time in the land of John. I had a 10-minute play that was part of a 10-minute play festival yesterday, and people really seemed to enjoy it. It was about 2 sailors that were also gay mermen. So there was lots of flirting and double entendres and a bit of onstage drunkenness. So everybody had a good time. The Alternate Archives is really great, not just because of Power Rangers, but because of all of the different systems that we do. And right now we're just focusing on Power Rangers with Essence 20. I am also part of the Streamathon committee preparing the Streamathon. So for the people that applied to be GMs, you're going to be getting something soon-ish, hopefully sooner rather than later, to look at what time you want for your stream. And I'm kind of going to be doing the schedule of the games coming out, and it's going to be a good time. The Streamathon is our 3rd anniversary Streamathon, I think. 4th, 17th. How many years?
This is the 3rd.
Been? This is the
75th anniversary of
the 75th anniversary of REM. It's super cool being a part of REM. If you've always wanted to try TTRPG, Streamathon is a great way. I'd also like right now to give a shout out because I had friends where I live in Oregon that were like, hey, I saw Shadowcasters Network was coming back up. So shout out to the return of the Shadowcasters Network for all of you. I believe chummers is the correct parlance. I don't know if I got that right, but a shout out to all the chummers out there. It's an exciting time at REM as we go from winter into cool early spring. Come be a part of the experience. Join us in the Discord. We're here for you.
Indeed. Well, with that, we are going to move over to Alex. Hello.
Sorry, slow to get off mute. Hi guys. Since we saw each other last week, I got to meet my new baby nephew. His name is Joaquin Sebastian Palos, and he is just a little bundle of joy. And this is my first nephew. I've got a couple nieces, but it was so nice to just like hold a new little baby. It was equally nice to turn it back over to its mother, my sister, when I was done. And I was like, oh, I get to leave you now. So sorry. So I super enjoy playing the role of Auntie.
Yeah, heard, understood. All right. Well, moving on to Rem.
Hi. Well, John is so thorough. It's hard to know what to talk about. So I'll just kind of tell you about my week this last week because it was a fun one. We wrapped production on 2 audio novellas. One is called Nothing Personal, which is from the perspective of a Mr. Johnson. So as expected, he's a giant jerk. And the voice actor did a phenomenal job because you just hate him. And so that one's about 2 hours long and will be released shortly on Audible. And the other one is called Another Rainy Night, which is the first of a couple series of short stories. This one's only about an hour long, but it is voiced by Jason Charles Miller, who you may know from writing the theme music to Critical Role. He's been on Critical Role a couple times. He's a voice actor. He was, I think, the performer, one of the performers for the Final Fantasy 14 soundtrack. So, like, he's done big deal stuff, and it's pretty cool. So both of those books will be coming out. I think we're going to try to do a drop a month. So one should be here by the end of the month and the other should be in February. And then the other big thing that I'm kind of excited about, but it's not official yet, but on Friday I got to record an episode of Rules of Cool with Kevin J. Anderson, who returned. He was on Rules of Cool with a group of 5 other authors about a novella series they all worked on together. But he came
Where's Isabeth so I can point at Isabeth because they won the Tears of Perseus series.
Down for you. So talking to him, he has a Kickstarter that's live right now called Dragon Business and Skeleton in the Closet, which is a fantasy con artist series, which is super fun. So as he explained it, the first book, which this is just a reprint of, and Skeleton in the Closet is the new book that hasn't been released before. So Dragon Business is basically these con artists that go kingdom to kingdom and plant like big dragon footprints and like will burn huts and houses down and then be like, oh, king, for this much money, we'll take care of this dragon problem for you, until they actually run into a dang dragon. So super fun. I'm really excited to get my hands on it and read it. And then Skeleton in the Closet is the same group of con artists, but they, I think they break into a castle, but then orcs take it over and like kill everyone. So now orcs are living in this castle. And so these con artists pretend that they're ghosts because orcs are afraid of ghosts because they can't beat them because ghosts are incorporeal. So it's called Skeleton in the Closet, and I'm very excited for that one too. And the really, really super exciting part that isn't official yet is I might be helping him promote the rest of the Kickstarter as he gets some time this coming week after the initial rush. Which hopefully leads to more partnerships with freaking Kevin J. Anderson. So if you don't know that name, you should look it up. He has contributed hugely to literary sci-fi. He wrote the prequels to Dune, which was supposed to be 3 and now is like 8. He's done work for Star Wars, Star Trek, Titan AE, the X-Files. And the interview was really cool about how he got involved with some of these projects. So yeah, hopefully you guys will get to see some more Kevin J. Anderson here on this channel.
We had a lot of fun doing Rules of Cool last week with the Delta Green.
Yeah,
I had a good time with that.
John did a great job covering for me. My puppy was had a procedure done. He's okay, but I needed to be a mommy that night, so John took over for me and did phenomenal. So thank you, John.
I also did not just write down in my notes on my phone, orcs are afraid of ghosts for anything that I'm thinking of doing later in time. Did not write that down at all.
Well, Some orcs are probably afraid of ghosts, some less so, depending on the setting. So yeah, with everything else going on, I've got this Sunday nights. On Tuesday nights I actually get to play in an actual play on another channel, D and Denial, and that's mostly what I got going on. I am running an alien RPG, the Destroyer of Worlds module. That once we're done, I'm gonna take it and chop it up and edit it and stuff, and then we'll probably do I'll probably do like a watch party thing on my YouTube channel that I have. And yeah, that's most of what I got going on. We are this close to ordering issue 2 of the comics. I ran into another hiccup, which is that the covers didn't get lettered, which is easy. It's just I almost feel like I could do it. I just don't know. Like I just feel not. I feel like I'm going to mess it up. I could probably do it, but I feel like I would mess it up. So I'm going to send it. I sent it to the letter and said, "Hey, can just slap the title on the cover, and we'll get it out." So
that was news to me. So my anxiety just spiked. Everyone, you got to see it live right here. So... That was
news
this time.
That was news to me yesterday. So when I got everything and went, "Hey, where's the cover?" I'm
literally flying to Michigan Friday to do fulfillment for the Kickstarter with Ava and Jackie. So it's like, we need this.
Yeah. Well, we'll have it in time. If I don't get a response back tomorrow, then I will do it myself. I mean, I feel like I can. I'm just afraid that like I'll make the yellow too bright or something, right? Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not a pro, but I know lots of pros.
Danny.
With all that said, without further ado, let's get into this game because it's about that time. When we left our friends last week, they had just finished meeting with Lady Uskun. Got some very interesting things to talk to them about. Apparently, they shared a common enemy in Simone Artaris. And now we find the group downstairs in the lobby, having just finished with that meeting. Wondering what is next. I leave it to you.
I think especially as we're all out in the open, maybe we should move this conversation to Lampira's room. Also, we're really bad at fake names, so there's that.
Yeah. You really. I mean, I didn't want to say anything, but
hey, you're really bad at it too. Okay.
I'm great at it. If you could all just remember the fake names I give you, that would be.
Okay, you gave people really hard names. All I can remember
they were all rock themed. I was in theme. It was a brand. It's a brand
identity. Do you remember all of them, Panabon?
Yeah, there was Izzy, Volcanius, Sedimentius, and one more.
Yeah. You all of
They're
that.
all rock themed. I could make them up again. They'd all be rock themed similar. Also,
Wait.
Shaelune, you know any like? Is there like a spell for amnesia? I feel kind of bad for the food person that we kind of.
I perhaps, but not one that I know.
Okay.
Thinking if I did, I would not tell Panama.
So I would head for the stairs, and then people would probably look at me and then head towards the elevator. But Perunyia's first thought is stairs.
All right. So is everybody heading upstairs?
Yeah, I don't think I. Wait, yeah, I don't think I have a room here. I stayed on the train.
No,
Oh,
that's a whole other city, like 15
okay.
episodes back.
I don't remember where
I mean, you
live.
basically live at the school, but I promise you have a room at this
That's
hotel.
right.
Sleep in the
that's
library.
Right. That's right. I remember now. Okay.
As we're going upstairs, I'm gonna grab some fruit off of one of the many trays of fruit that exists at just as outside of people's rooms. This hotel, apparently.
Sure. As eventually you pass somebody who's got a little table set outside, whether it's incoming or outgoing for room
so
service.
Convenient. This hotel is so convenient. It's so nice.
And eventually arrive to Shaylin's room.
What time of day were we meeting with? Or what time of day is it now?
It was after my fight, so it would be evening, because mine was late afternoon.
Yeah, it's early evening.
So, you will want to come in?
Oh,
Yes, thank you.
Talk in the hall. Yes.
I feel like everyone's just standing there awkwardly. It's like, do it.
You all pile into the room.
Awkwardly.
Thank you, Danny. Awkwardly is a key word there. I'd probably turn around to the group and be like, so, are we doing this thing for Lady Uskun? I feel like the answer is yes, but I also want to like make sure I'm really checking in with everyone if this is a full group decision. And I look at Shaelune.
I look at the full group. If it's a full group decision, I do have. Shaelune obviously does have an opinion, but she's still kind of contemplating everything that just happened and wants to see if there's anything surprising that anyone has to say.
As a new member in this group, I really feel like since the three of you have been on this journey for a while, I'm just gonna go with whatever the three of you want to do. I'll be there to help you if you want to help this Lady Uskun, and if you want to go separate ways from her, then I'll support that as well.
Thanks, Drew. I think for me, it's less about helping Lady Uskun than it is to potentially take away a source of power for Simona Artaris, because like if we end up in the place where we would like to be to actually gain an upper hand on Flamgesu, then I think that this would put us in a better position. So to me, like, I think she's got her own set of agendas that may or may not be of the purest intention, but it does give us information that we didn't have on his villa. And I think if we have this information from anyone, let alone her, we would probably want to act on it. So I'm in favor.
Yeah, like I would rather do something proactive than be on the run the whole time, playing catch up or learning information. I, for once, would like to find out the information before they do. I don't know if that has happened, but it feels like that has been the progression of the journey. I, for one, I mean, it's not my job to stab them in the face. I would not take that honors because I have not been as personally grieved. But I would like the opportunity to help someone else stab them in the face if at all possible. Um, Mostly, it would just be nice to kind of get out ahead of something. You know? Also, if this is like a whole country where deadomancy is being practiced, if we can like stop that, I'm all for less of that, personally speaking.
Yeah, it does sound like that town is very besieged by dead people.
Yeah. That's the only real hitch I'm thinking thus far is the if the deadomancy is like already there, it's great that we know going in, but like does that mean we have to open up like a super huge open air graveyard this time? Like we need to like plan. Do we need to like get some like city limit things and see how big the city is so we know how big to make the graveyard, you know?
I mean, maybe Shaylin can look into that at the research for the university. Didn't you say that there were an actual like set of people looking into the discipline of deadomancy? Like it sounded like they have an entire wing of the university dedicated to that study, which is also suspect. And I don't know how I feel about that.
That is still a surprise to Shaelune at this point because she might have feelings when she finds that wing of the library. So I don't think that has come up in game yet. um, unless did you guys find that out another way? That
Oh
Shaelune was
yeah, well I think their interview of the student is what they told us.
Oh, that deadomancy was done by whoever attacked the school. I didn't interpret that as being deadomancy from the school, but I could be wrong.
That's
Yeah, he told us that it was the guy that did the deadomancy, because he was trying to get the gnome and the aristocrat that the gnome was with that belongs to the circus.
I think regardless, that's a good question to look into because I'll look into it, Perunyia.
Good idea. All right, that's 2 votes for yes. Lex, Drew, Rogelio.
Lex quietly states that they're of the same opinion as Drew.
Rogelio, also staring forward with no valuable input to bring to this conversation, also agrees that he will probably follow you guys wherever you go. So he chimes in. He's like, absolutely, whatever's best for the group.
Hey, we turn and look to Shaylin. Shrug, smile. Well, what do you think?
I do agree with Panabon that it would be great to get ahead. However, that's only if we're successful. The other thing to keep in mind is he is able to scry on us and could be even now and know that we're coming. So we don't want to speak too freely of this as we move forward, other than maybe in letters we burn or something like that. But or in the message thing I can do with you.
Oh, maybe you should tell us your decision in your mind, and then we'll, if he's listening to us right now, he won't know what you say, but we will all know.
Yes, but he'll know what all of you said already.
And then we'll pretend like we don't have a decision. I'm trying here.
It's all for now.
Can we scry him?
Ooh, good.
The university does have resources to do that, and we did. I saw him. He was heading, I believe it was west, right, Danny?
East, southeast.
Southeast. So not the direction we're going. But he did know I was scrying him and shut it down. Regardless, yes, I agree that regardless of Uskun, she could be a good ally to us if her intentions are true. We know his are not. So I do think that this is worth going after, and if we're successful, then it weakens Flamgesu. The other thing I thought, and I look at Panaban, is the night we ran, it was him that we saw, that talked to me in the prison. So I would imagine it's him that sent the creature after us. And yes, the Dark Claws are now involved, but I don't believe Flamgesu has ever seen us. Personally.
Well, I mean, he's seen me personally, but
True. Was he chasing you?
no, it's my sister he murdered,
Right.
and I had been at his office before, and he is likely aware that I'm the one who broke in with Panabon to his office because I had been seen there the day before with the guards. Also, I do bear some resemblance to my sister, especially in coloring, though she was much smaller stature than I am, of course.
Right. It just hopefully would lighten the hunting of us. Again, it's hopeful, it's not for sure, but I think it's worth
But I
that
agree.
risk.
Especially, it's nice to be and to have an opportunity to be on the offensive for once, and I think that Panabon's right about that, and I share your feeling.
The question becomes, do we go now, or do we go to Dissarin first and double back? Or
Whatever will make us
Dissarin
more. Was it? Yeah. Sorry.
Was
Pause. Danny?
the Arcturus place on the way to Dissarin, or because we're headed that way?
Yeah, so you can do a straight shot to Discern, or you can get most of the way there, but then you would have to detour if you wanted to go there first. And then the same thing on the way back. So you could go to Discern first, and then you could like go there and then come back and then make your way back east.
I think, in my opinion, we know he's not headed towards his place. So I think we talk about this in secret and we head to Dissarin first so that we can get any more information from Barungit, my professor that was here when the attack happened, that we might not already have, and she might be able to help as well, or maybe the university. I don't know, but I think it's worth it to go see what extra upper hand we can get before walking into this.
That seems like a good idea, especially if you could figure out more about how to better fight deadomancy, then we'll be better armed going into the town.
Speaking of being better prepared, she rummages for her spellbook.
I feel like a lecture's coming on right now.
So, as I was, Rojelio and I were doing our research, and I haven't gotten to hear about Rogelio's research yet, but I wanted to let you know, I found a lot, but what I was able to do so far, I want you guys to know what advantages we have, so that we can work better together. So, you know, I already feel like a lot of the fear I had of protecting myself, you saw what I did to the airship, so I don't feel like I need that as much. So I focused on things that could help us in other ways. So I learned about warding. So for instance, I could ward my spell book, and if someone opens it in the wrong way, it could have an alarm or a trap on it already set. So I can do that with other objects too if we wanted. Perunyia, I was very excited about this for you. Now can I like hold my hand up to touch you?
Yeah.
Danny, I cast haste.
Okay. You cast haste. you find yourself, Perunyia, suddenly, as the spell is cast, you're not sure what is going on, but it feels to you like suddenly everything has slowed down. Like as soon as like she reaches out to touch you, and then as her hand goes back, it goes back almost like in slow motion. You seem to be moving at normal speed, so you bring your hands up. That's fine. Everyone else is looking at Perunyia. She has sped up. She is moving very quickly now. When she brings her hands up, it's like really fast.
I walk around the room.
Is she all right?
She can now move faster than normal, so she can move faster. She can hit faster. So she like in a fight when it's boosting her as a weapon. She is the weapon.
She is the weapon.
I imagine Perunyia
so
hears
much.
that like she is the
Yes.
weapon.
Give
Yeah.
you some jumping jacks.
It's all super fast. That's for sure.
Then I drop that one. So we need to remember that I can do that. So and I believe, is that a touch, Danny? I need to pull up my character sheet here.
That is one willing creature within 30 feet.
Okay, so I don't have to touch you, but you have to be at least like this far away from me. So when before a fight starts, it would be great to get that going if we know we're walking into something. Another thing I can do is, does anyone speak anything other than Common, Draconic, Foru, Ishani, Melvedi?
I mean, I know some Fey words from our friend Rosalia, but all the other ones are ones
But
that
just-
I speak currently.
But to speak it?
No.
I mean, I know a language that technically isn't spoken, but doesn't work in this country, so.
Well, basically, I don't have to test this one on you, but basically I can speak any language with the use of a spell. So if we're ever overhearing something, we don't have to worry about us not knowing. And then, this one, Danny, I haven't talked to you about this one, but I'm very excited about it, and
Oh, that's not a face I ever want to see my game master make. That is not a good face. I don't like that face. What have you done?
it's Summon Fae, and I want Minya to bring all her friends.
God, out of character. It's Fern Gully. Out of character. In character.
So I cast Summon Fae, and my satchel pops open, and Minya darts down, and then like so do, I don't know how many it is, a crap ton of other Minyas. I'm still pulling up my character sheet. I get distracted because I'm excited. Let's see here.
No, of all the things I was expecting, this is not one of them. I have to say. Pleasant surprises.
This is so many wishes.
At this level,
what is the
it is a the summon Fae. You're looking at the 3rd level conjuration.
Yeah.
That is a single Fae.
Okay, so so Minya has a friend.
A second wish.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
What is the wishing thing about?
Oh, they grant wishes.
They do?
Yeah, Lex
Are you
told me
sure?
that. Mm-hmm.
What?
I look at Lex and I quirk my jeweled eyebrow very heavily in Lex's direction.
Lex is going to just give a shrug.
We're gonna need to talk about this
Uh,
when you're here. We're gonna need to have a conversation about this. I want to know everything about Minya. If you've seen a Minya before. Okay.
And
Anyway,
how big is this wish that they're supposed to be able to grant? Like, could we just wish Flemgesu's face to like burst into flames? Like, is that a thing we could wish?
I
Not
was never
just his
told
face.
specifics. I would just ask Minya.
I mean, even if it's just like a low level annoyance, just to know we could like do something like
Minya,
that.
I
would be-
adore you, and we're gonna play with this thought when we have some time. But guys, while we have time, here's something else we can do. Now this one, I believe, I'm going to double check. I think I can only, so far, do this on myself. Yes. Watch this. I'm gonna... this one actually lets you inspired me for. I use alter self and change my appearance. So I make myself taller. My facial features kind of get more elfier instead of like kind of the nubby nomi. My hair length changes to like shaved on one side and like flipped over, and it becomes hot pink. And yeah, I'll actually make myself look like an elf because I can change my racial appearance. So this is one way I can disguise myself, but I was thinking about Panabon too, and I think maybe in time I could work on a way to expand that. Oh, if we ever find anything that's flying, I can grab it and push it to the earth so you guys can hit it so it's not at a breach. I can make Perunyia bigger, which should make her hit harder. Cause
did you really?
Yeah.
Like, can you do both of the things where you make her really fast and then you also make her big, like big and fast?
Let me cross-reference quickly here. I cannot. I can do one or the other. So depending on the situation.
Both are great options.
Right, if we're fighting something like we did with Rososi, that big golem thing, that might be a good thing with enlarge to make you bigger. But something that's very fast or a lot of some things might be good to do the haste.
Question?
Yes.
Can you make the flame sword bigger? Does it only work on people, or does it work on objects?
Anything she is holding would get larger. So that way it's not like a naked Perunyia running around. That would be embarrassing.
I wouldn't be embarrassed, just for the record. Feel free to do it whenever it seems right.
I can also I can cast these like spider webs that slow people down. So if we're trying to escape something, and there's a doorway, I can cover it with webs so that we can get away faster, or hold people still. Okay, then I can... This is gonna go for a minute, guys. Oh, you know how I set all the traps whenever we have doors, so that if anyone gets in, it sets off, like, we know? Now I can do that magically, so I'll be notified via an alarm within my head if something is trapped, or if someone walks in and I don't want them to. Panabon? I thought of you for this. I know what it's... So here's the thing. Part of why I wrote this one down is... It's not cheap to learn all these spells. The resources that go into the ink and the writing and the work that needs to go into this. So I did spend a good bit of our money, but Panabon, you made it through for us when we had nothing, when we were running, and I thought I can make an object that you sell appear to be worth more than it is.
Handy.
So then you could barter higher for its worth. Please use cautiously. And that's what I've got so far, everyone. That's what I've taken on. And I still have... Perunyia, it would be really great if you could win the entire championship, because there's so many more spells I could take. That's not even a quarter of what I could learn.
Here's a question about the championship we should find out from Phoebe. When you win the championship, Perunyia, how long after that do festivities happen? Because the Battle of the Bronze seems like a really big citywide thing. One, how much attention would that draw? Two, how much would our obligation to the city be after that?
So, if you remember, that is why I chose to do a fake name. That's why we're using Zane the Rock Johnson, not just for fun. And remember,
But it
we
is
have a
fun. It is a fun name,
50-50
though. I will say it's very fun.
I agree. And it's also remember a 50-50 split with the person's group who sponsored me. So it's really the top prize. We are eligible for half. If I don't take top prize, it is the 60-40 split in favor of them. And so we're at 40%. So it's the best for us if we can take, well, if I can take top spot, but like you guys, like the last fighter was challenging. So they're only going to get harder from here on out. So I will do my best, but I can't make any promises. But of course, I will try my hardest.
Sorry, I was also looking back. I don't think I ever told you what I learned from the book they gave me of Rososi's that they found. There was some in there that I obviously won't ever use. But the ones I would, oh goodness, my notes. You know how I can make things float?
Yeah.
Now I can actually make them fly. So I could make you fly. That one.
These all sound great to me. I love this.
Or you know, if you need a book from the library, you can just make it fly to the library, fly right back when you're done with it.
I mean, it's more for sentience. You know, because you'd have the power to. I mean, I suppose I could.
All those books are magic, and none of them are sentient.
I mean, maybe that's possible, but I mean, mine is. But it's technically I put my book's knowledge into Minya.
Oh, is Rojelio considered sentient enough that you could make Rojelio fly?
Yes,
he should be.
I don't know the rules. It's I'm just asking.
Yes,
I think you are, but I don't know what the. No, it's a whole thing.
I can also detect magic. I'd prefer to do that as a ritual, but I can see if magic has been used somewhere before. So, like, Panabon, when we went into that Rososi's room where the gargoyle came from to attack us, I could cast detect magic in there and be able to see that something is magical now and where it's coming from.
That would have been good in the room where Lex almost died, where the stone wasp was.
Yeah, so now when we are places we shouldn't be, you should probably take me with you so that I can tell you where the magical threats are coming from. I think, Rogelio, couldn't you do that too? Don't you know how to do that?
What exactly?
Detect where magic is within a space.
I've been known to be able to do that, yes.
Right, so we've got 2 that can do that, so that's great. That's all. Sorry, what were we talking about?
I'm not sure if it's still there, but at some point we should probably also, especially if we're going to the Saren, see if Sonato still has an office there. Because checking in the school would be good, but you know,
does he have
if Sonato has,
to Saren?
I mean, he did. I mean, that was in one of the membership letters I got, so I would think so. Why? Unless you know, I mean, maybe you know something I don't.
I just wasn't aware of him as much as you are, Panabon.
To be fair, I've been on the run, so getting the newsletter has been kind of tough. But I'm making it work. I'm a chapter president, even if it's just in name only.
Well, yeah. Do you have a fight today, Perunyia?
So the one that I won today.
Oh, tomorrow. I mean,
will mean that I advance to the next round. Remember, the locations are yet to be announced, but they're going to be like special places throughout the city. And Phoebe will come tomorrow morning and let me know what time. But until then, like I don't know, I can maybe go for a light jog with Lex again, and I'll probably turn in early for the night. So no big activities for me, you guys.
I feel like that was a hint, but I didn't have anything planned at all, so...
I'd like to go back to the school.
Oh, I mean, you could, absolutely. Lex, if you're okay with running with me again, that would be nice.
Sorry, I don't know that.
My Alexa is responding to that. I will.
Oh, that was Lex.
That is absolutely what Lex said.
She said,
I
"Then sorry,
don't know how to
I don't
run."
know how to respond to that." Is what Lex just
It
said.
checks
then.
out. It checks out.
You're muted.
And
Danny.
then Danny muted himself.
I feel like I already went on a run with you this morning, so now I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I know, but I gotta like loosen my muscles again because I just like fought. That's like, well, anyway, I can go by myself. Don't worry about it.
Rojelio, do you want to study more?
I definitely have a little more research to do in that conjuration room. So yes, I need to finish that so I can tell you all the things I definitely conclusively learned.
Great.
Are we going now?
It does occur to you that in the evening time, most of the you're sure the library's probably open a little later. You don't know how late it's open till, but it does occur to you that it is evening time, and so you'll probably get a couple of hours or so.
Yay. Also, Drew, you said something that kind of caught my attention, that and thank you for being willing to come with us on all of this. But where were you headed when you got on the train? Like, do you have somewhere to be?
No, I was just traveling. I just kind of go where I want, where I feel drawn, and find work when I need it.
She nods and kind of frowns because she's very jealous of that. I would be here until I went through every book in that library. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. I'll be at your fight tomorrow, Perunyia. Just send word again.
Well,
All right.
Maybe, Rogelio, if you can do that thing where...
Welcome back. The group was left in Shaylune's room. However, after a few moments, Perunyia went on a run. Lex went to go rest. Panabon and Drew were discussing some things. But we move to Shaelune and Rojelio as they arrive at the Academy Arcanum, walking down the main hall, and you realize that the room that leads to the library that you had been in, actually just right across the hall, you see a similar door, and you realize that that must be the other wing of the library.
Remembering the conversation and the concerns raised by Perunyia about whether or not the school teaches deadomancy, I want to poke in that wing.
So you step in there and kind of pull the door open and just poke your head in. Rogelio standing behind you. You see a woman standing at a lectern, much like the librarian Declan in the other side. She is middle-aged to older, on the older side of middle-aged, with hair that is brown and gray. It is very curly and cut kind of short. She has a pair of glasses, spectacles on her face. She looks like she's reading something. She kind of pokes her head up as you open the door and look in, and then she puts her glasses up and, yes, dearie. May I help you?
You don't teach deadomancy here, right?
Well, I don't teach anything here. I'm not a professor. I'm a librarian. But if you are speaking of necromancy, then yes, that is taught at the university.
But like the theory behind it and how to stop it, right? Not the practice of it.
That's an odd question to ask. No, the university teaches. We have our wing here has all dedicated to its study.
So you teach people how to do spells of deadomancy, like reanimating the dead, and
You keep saying deadomancy, but come in.
I very cautiously take like one step forward, but do not.
Rojelio's like standing behind you, like
Ready to walk in.
just in the hall, like I guess
In
I'm
the
staying
door
here.
frame.
You keep calling it deadomancy. What is your idea of this school of knowledge?
Sorry, I feel like you are answering my question with a question. I've been chased and attacked by dead things before. So I have big concerns, and I know that your school has been attacked by dead things. So
Yes.
what would be the benefit in teaching the practice of raising the dead and controlling the dead?
Those are lovely questions. Is that your idea of deadomancy? Solely the appropriation of corpses for diabolical means?
I think to Rizosi's spellbook, and the spell that I haven't revealed to the others that is in there, because like I never plan to use it, but it's summon lesser demons.
Which is a conjuration spell.
But I don't know that necessarily, right?
You do.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
you would absolutely know that.
All right, well then, bad example. I think I have a deadomancy spell, but I don't remember what it is. But that, regardless of if it's conjuration or not, like, it makes me think that, like, there are probably other darker things that I haven't anticipated that would be related in some way to deadomancy. And so I'll respond, as far as I've discovered to this point, yes.
I see. Well, here in the university, there has been discussion about the merits of magic that is dark or destructive or can be used for evil means. Would it surprise you to hear that this argument has been applied to every school of magic?
Absolutely. Absolutely not. I can understand using, you know, a firebomb would be a bad thing when used inappropriately. But the only time I've experienced deadomancy used, and I cannot imagine a benefit to use people's dead bodies to bring them back, to disturb them from peace, and to control them for whatever means the user deems they wish to. It's a non-consensual process.
Have you studied much in the way of enchantments?
I'm aware that there are also not good enchantments to use on people.
I would argue that almost every enchantment removes the question of consent from the target. Do they not?
I mean, so does restraining people physically.
Certainly.
So you still, though, not answering my questions. You're posing other philosophical questions that are not one-to-one.
Oh, certainly. Certainly, no question is one-to-one. I'm just trying to understand. I am trying to understand where your issues lie in the use of necromancy, deadomancy. To raise the dead, per se, is not the singular purview of necromancy. The arguments about the morality of doing so for any reason certainly rile up many progressive thinkers and other academics and wizards, certainly. There are some who argue and have made compelling arguments, not that I necessarily agree with, that there could be non-evil, to say, reasons to do so. That said, that would... why is this not doing what I need it to do? That still presumes that necromancy's only use is in defiling corpses or the dead. And that is not the case.
Okay, so there's more whatevers to deadomancy, but you are teaching the practice of reanimating the dead, correct?
No, that is not one that we grant to our students, in particular, the animation of corpses.
Thank you. I'm gonna leave. Tomorrow. No. Let's get our studies in while we can tonight, Rojelio, because tomorrow in the morning we're going to pay a visit to Nigatsa.
Okay. Same wings?
I have a book or two to finish up in the room I was in, and then I'm going to move to a different wing.
Okay, gotcha. I will go back to the conjuration room then.
All right, I'll see you later.
Right.
I should probably go back and look if I chose any conjuration spells. I did with Summon Lesser Fae. Because I feel like I'm actually not going to get much information from that section. Based on Rojelio.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
So unless there's anything specific besides seeking spells and the like,
No.
I will leave you to that. And we, is there anything that anyone else is wanting to do this evening?
I have a question.
Okay.
We've been here for a couple of days, right?
You're about to hit day 4.
Day 4, okay. As we've been around the city, would we have seen signs or flyers or posters for this traveling circus that was here?
No, you didn't see anything that indicated there was a circus. That said, it would have been a couple of weeks ago, so unless you were looking for them, it probably would have been difficult to see because such flyers might have been flyered over or all like thrown out by this point.
Okay.
If that's something you want to keep an eye out for, you certainly can. But, yeah.
I would. And then maybe tomorrow before or on the way to the fight, I think Drew would want to ask maybe the concierge at the the hotel that they're in, if they know where the circus was headed to next, maybe.
Certainly. All right. Well, without anything else going on, I am going to presume then that everyone gets a good night's rest.
Because I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep, and even for me, like I could use.
That would be great.
Sounds good. All right. So, the next day arrives. Shaelune and Rojelio, you probably have set a time to meet up to find Nagatsa in his offices. That would be in the Silver Yards. You are certain in the Silver Yards, if you can find the Starike building, headquarters building there, you'll be able to find Nagatsa. Drew, as you wake up, you do head downstairs and speak to the concierge. He looks up as you arrive and kind of straightens up a little bit. Yes, ma'am. May I help you?
Well, yes, sir. I was speaking to a nice gentleman the other day, and he was telling me that y'all had a traveling circus visit here not too long ago. And I was just wondering if you know where their next stop was or who I can talk to about that, because I have a friend that would love to see a circus, and I just kind of wanted to see if I could make that on our trip so I could surprise them.
A circus, you say? I can't recall the last time I'd heard of a circus coming through Castanede. Does specifically not in the past season. But then again, I am not. I am not one to be as excited about such an event. That said, I don't recall there being any sort of information or usually that sort of thing gets pushed through flyers here in the lobby. There are those who would pass out notifications of such things, and I don't recall there being such a thing in the last few months.
Oh, okay, well that's so weird. They may have gotten the time wrong. Do you know of anybody else I could ask in the city? Maybe somebody that might know.
If I had to wager a guess, we are a place where a circus could potentially set up and draw in the largest crowds, so to speak. That would likely be there's a square in East Home that a park that could be a location. There are many places in Sunny Peak, but I doubt it. There is a very large park between Coldcrest and East Home on the edge. And if they arrive by airship, maybe they were able to, they'd be able to rent some time on the strip there on the precipice.
All right. The person I was talking to said that one of the people involved was an aristocrat of some sort, so probably very wealthy. Would that change where they might set up?
The vagaries of circus economics and politics escape me, but I would imagine that they would wish to set up where they would gather the largest crowds.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your help, and I hope you have a lovely day.
You as well, madam.
And then Jude goes off to find anybody in her group.
All right. In Silver Yard, it's not hard to find Sturike's headquarters. It is a very large building. You can hear the sounds of machine work kind of down the block and around the corner. Walking into this office, the air is much cooler, very comfortable. Inside, there is a young man sitting at the front desk. He looks up as you enter, seeing Shaelune first, and then seeing Rojelio. He suddenly just like jumps to his feet, knocking some papers off the desk. Yeah. May I help? May I help you? And he's just kind of staring almost at Rojelio.
Is Nugotsa in?
Of the pardon? New. You mean Master Senato? I, and then he disappears behind the desk as he picks up several of the papers that he knocked over and sets them down. And he's running like his finger across one. You can see that it's a log. Yes, he arrived half an hour ago to his office, I believe. Likely. Yes.
Well,
yes, he's.
While he's bumbling, can I just cast message to Nugotsa and say, hey, we're in the lobby area. You able to talk?
You get a response a few moments later. Yes, I will be right down. He's like, so, did you want to see him?
Yes, I will. And I go sit down to wait.
He looks really confused, and then he looks over at Rojelio. Can I help you, sir?
Did the university hire Zivid? Oh God.
Poor stuttering boy. No,
I'd be nervous.
I'm
if I
okay.
worked in
I'm going to just
Genevieve.
take a seat.
Okay. He's really confused. Did you want to make an appointment?
No, he's coming.
We might already have an appointment.
I don't. And right about then, the door opens and Nugasa Senato steps through. Don't stand there gaping, boy. Have a seat. Miss
Flaglight.
Yes.
Good. Yes.
And Rojelio.
Hi, Granddad.
Welcome. Well, just welcome. the boy's eyes are like saucers. Please come with me to my office. And he turns and holds the door open for you to follow.
I follow.
I look at the boy like, see, appointment.
He's just like, as you are walking, you go up some stairs and you can see there's on the other side of this large glass wall, really, like as the stair loops around at the landing where it would loop, that wall is just glass. And you can see on the other side of it, there's a very large open space. It's not a factory per se. It's not like the sort of factory where there's like automation and things are going kind of along assembly line. There are several like fabrication stations, maybe, where people are building a variety of different machines, engines, objects, etc. And he stops at one of the landings and says, well, welcome to Storike. This is where many ideas are tested. We fabricate items here, and then we test them There are a few testing grounds within the Silver Yard, or if we need to, we can take things over to the precipice and test there. But this is the forefront of technological development for most of Ireland occurs here.
Interesting. This makes me think of a thought I had about my schematics for the legs, but then thinking about Rojelio and how he was designed as well. Would there be the possibility of maybe one of his digits being able to be extended and heated so that it's malleable, so that it could maybe get into a keyhole or something like that, or be a screwdriver or the such? Because I can heat the metal, obviously, if there's a way to do it without hurting him, but
that is something that could be developed. Certainly, I don't know that heating. I think there's probably a better way to go about it.
All right, interesting. I'd love to talk about it, but I have another concern.
Yes, come, please. And with that, he continues up the stairs. And
so is it possible to make sure that we're not being scried at a given moment?
Are you asking him?
Yeah.
Oh, I recommend not saying anything you don't want others to hear until we reach my office.
But in your office, it's safe?
Oh, yes, quite safe.
All right. I'm like clamping my mouth shut to not start talking.
Okay. It's not far. He takes you about 3 more flights up and then into a hallway. There are a series of doors. He kind of takes you past most of them until there's a space where like the passage between doors, the space between doors, suddenly like lengths, like there's not another door, and then there's a door at the far end. He's not going to that one, but he goes to the one that's like closest to it on the left.
Have you told them it's not fair to put gnomes on the top floor? That's a lot of stairs.
Indeed. You do get used to it after a while.
I've walked through a desert. I don't think at this point I would be used to those stairs at any given point. I should have considered levitate.
I suppose that would be useful in a situation such as this. But in any case, here we are.
All right, so...
And he opens the door and walks you in. You see inside actually is Callus, his assistant. She looks up as you enter.
When did you arrive?
Oh, just this morning.
Welcome back.
Indeed, it is good to see you. You're well?
Never. I mean, it's true. Did you find anything helpful or useful out staying behind?
I did. I did indeed. I believe Nagasa will have an appointment today. I believe around noon at the Heavenly Sequence office. Yes. He nods. Yes, we'll have to work some things out there. But for now, let's deal with your business.
All right. So, good news or bad news first?
Why don't you go with the good news? That'll probably we'll probably run through that faster.
All right. So the good news is that, are you aware of Lady Uskun?
Uskun sounds familiar. One of the houses up north, I believe.
She's in town as one of the fighters in the Battle for the Bronze, and she is being hunted by witch hunters linked to Arturus. And they have been rivals for Middle Land for a while now. But apparently he has some sort of object of power at his estate, and she has mentioned that it would be in both of our interests to fetch it, destroy it. I don't know. Make sure he doesn't have it either way. And so, it would be an opportunity to have some sort part of Arturus's power taken, and hopefully enough to destroy him. But any thoughts from you about the situation?
I'm afraid I would have to think on that and have more information to formulate a coherent thought that contributed. But I agree with your initial assessment based on how things sound, that it would be beneficial if it were possible to both learn of his plans, his longer term plans, and to, well, deny him an asset that he needs. That does sound of great benefit if it can be done safely.
Is there any knowledge, resources, or support that you are able to provide on a venture like this?
I can
facing.
I'm happy to provide any equipment that you might need that is at our disposal. Weaponry, perhaps. I don't know. I did not notice that any of you were riflemen or anything of that sort, but that sort of thing.
You make guns?
Well, we have an armory. Starike is not in the business of manufacturing weapons, but we are closely associated with companies that do.
Okay.
But what we could do is provide you with a means to travel. One of the new motor cars are being tested for more off-road utility use. Perhaps that is something you could make use of.
Guys, I'm about to get us a car.
That would be.
Please make this happen.
That would be quite sufficient, I believe. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I mean this. It is my sincere belief that you are onto something of import, and that assisting you is for the betterment of, well, to most all of us. So.
I really want to hug him, but I'm gonna restrain myself. That's really neat to be able to test a motor car. Thank you. But to get us there, and I'm having a lot of books to carry now, so it's good to have somewhere to put that. Anyway, any other thoughts before I get to the big concern?
No, I don't have any other. Caddis, could you, if you could note that, so that we can have one of the trucks ready for them when they're ready to go. Thank you. And she nods and she's like.
Thanks, Callus. I you know, you seem pretty tough and smart, so I know probably Nugotsa can't spare you, but you'd always be welcome to travel with us, and you'd be an asset to us if you ever wanted.
She offers a smile and then nods and says, I greatly appreciate the sentiment. But yes, I am needed here.
Right. All right. So the concern I have, I am certain you are aware that they teach deadomancy here at the university.
I had not heard of deadomancy in particular.
They call it necromancy here. It's a stupid name.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. Indeed, necromancy, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, Callus, there are some spells that have been discussed or tossed around by the various scholars that have proven to be useful and not entirely despicable, by my measures anyway. And there are theoretically, they pose the ideas of returning returning the recently deceased to life, of repairing, of returning the soul to the body, fully and completely restored. Those are under the purview of necromancy, as far as I know. Communion with spirits that may have a message for the living, or that may have knowledge that the living have need of. I believe that falls under the purview of necromancy as well. That is, I think, tested.
My concern is not so much. I mean, you can call summoning demons conjuration, or you can call summoning an army of the dead conjuration or necromancy, or whatever bucket you want to put it under. But my concern is obviously with what we've faced, is the university teaching students how to do the things that Arturus does and uses selfishly, that largely would only be for a selfish purpose or a destructive purpose.
Well, you are asking an exceedingly large question, Shaelune. There are vast moral questions about many of the things that magic can do for us. In the long term, in the big picture, there are arguments to be made of the dangers of evocation. And grant that I am fairly in your boat when it comes to simply the idea of animating corpses. I fully believe that there are likely other means of animating things to do your bidding, but even then, in the wrong hands, I feel like is that the right hands simply would choose to do something, to use something other than a corpse. And so we won't see that as often, if ever. But it is a very big question.
If since magic is so new to the world, if Arturus was able to figure out all that he can do before it was even widely researched and studied and available in a library, imagine what someone like him could discover if those resources, if they get the shortcut of being shown all those resources up front. Are we educating future Arturuses? Because if we win this fight, if I knew more were coming, I wouldn't want to be in this world.
by the same token, are we educating those who will be better prepared to stop someone?
That's why I think
Like
theory
us.
is important. Theory is acceptable, but to say like, hey, I think that this is the theory behind how these deadomancers work, and do their work and bring these beings to life, but to give them, oh, and also here's how they do it. So if you want to try this at home, kids, try it on your neighbor's cat that gets hit by a car.
That is the knowledge moves inexorably forward. Theories need be tested in most cases, often shown to work. The unraveling of such magic, in many cases, the magic needed to create the effect in the first place must be known. Now, this is all theory on my end, for I am not a sorcerer or a wizard in the same way, but I will say that I agree with you that there are dangers inherent in the teaching, and I.
Is there a headmaster of the Deadomancy school that I could speak to and or write a strongly worded letter, something to at least say this is what my real life experience has been, and I'm the same age as these students you teach. This is what's out there, and this is what you are giving them access to.
Each of the schools at the Arcanum have their own headmasters, lead professors.
Can you make me an appointment with with the Deadomancy headmaster?
Well, I certainly can. I'm sure I can talk to, or you could talk to Skriel as well. But I can do so, if necessary. Certainly.
Thank you. It's terrifying, and I know arguments can be made against the rest of magic as well, but it could also be made against fighting, and it could be made against science, and it can be made against no offense, I look at Rojelio.
I'm taken.
And you are correct. It can be made against all of those things. I, for example, wish to create means of providing energy to everyone who needs it. It is of great benefit, but it also powers war machines. It also, the race for it has created contention between companies and nations.
The world sucks.
Well, there is much light, and we hope to find it and seek it whenever we can.
Do you... Sorry, change of subject. Do you know where I could find maybe a thrift store of resources for copying spells? Because I've been through a lot of books already, and I've spent half our money. Is there a way to find cheaper equipment for...
And not any place that I can think of. Again, I am no wizard or magician, so that is not necessarily my purview. But my understanding is that most things tied to magic come at a premium. It is a seller's market, as they say.
Huh. You're right. How Shaelune started a business. Let me think on that. All right, sorry to take up time unannounced. We'll be staying through the end of the fights because Perunya's gonna make us some money back. So we'll be in town for a few days.
How has she been doing in those?
Undefeated so far.
No. Well, then I expect she'll be at the gardens today.
Oh, is that where we're gonna be?
Yes. And I shall be there as well.
Oh, you can come sit with us.
Certainly. Yes. I have a meeting with the Sunstar there to discuss. And he looks kind of pointedly at Callus. The incidents in Ariad.
If you need any help, let me know.
Yeah, certainly. But we'll see you there, I suppose.
All right. Rogelio, what's your name? Rojelio.
No.
Do we have time for any more research before the fight?
Well, that depends on what time the fight is.
It's one of those situations where you could go back and get maybe like half an hour in and then come back. If you're not looking for anything to eat.
We should get lunch.
Or breakfast, rather.
We should get breakfast. But let's go somewhere cheap, because I don't want to spend money.
We can definitely go somewhere cheap. You know what? I won't even eat. And we go to find somewhere cheap to eat.
Awesome.
All right. As you leave, back at the hotel, Perunyia, you have headed downstairs to get your morning meal in to make sure that you have plenty of energy for the day. And Phoebe, you see Phoebe walk in. Good morning. How are you today?
Hiya, Phoebe. I'm feeling good.
Great. I have, I have news, all the information about what's going on. So what do you want to hear first?
I mean, who am I fighting is probably my most pressing question. And then next, where? And then next after that, probably when. Well, maybe that third one should be the second question. Yes, in that order.
Okay, well, for your fight then, since I think that's all one, I think you will be fighting Flint Corbeck. Flint Corbeck.
Mosruki, which means motherfucker in Draconic.
And this is exciting. The fights are going to be at, I'm going to try to say this right, Taquat. I probably butchered that. It means it's like Daywall for I think it'd be like the Paradise Garden or Heaven's Garden or something. It must be Heavenly Gardens because it's the Heavenly Sequence research facility in Castanede. Heavenly Sequence
are indoors.
Well, it's a garden. It's going to be outdoors. It's actually a really nice garden. Anyway, it's going to be outdoors, and I hear that the Sunstar is going to be watching the fight, which is pretty neat.
The guy in charge of the city, right?
No. So Sunstar, it's like so in Starike and other companies in Ireland, we have the person in charge of the company. He's like a chief, executive sort of person, like the president or whatever. So that's like what a Sunstar is in Daywall, I guess. So of Heavenly Sequence engines. So they're the big power company in Daywall, Daynong, and so he's the CEO. He's super rich.
The thought crossed my mind that I maybe should be worried for Rojelio, because I don't know that it would be good for that person to know of Rogelio's existence, but I have no way to communicate that to them at this moment in time, so I keep that to myself. Okay, that's cool. Okay, the third question was what time?
Oh, at 11. So we'll probably want to head out there soon. So after breakfast or whatever, and after you gather everybody, and we'll probably want to head that way. And just so you know, obviously Vivian won her match yesterday. So so if you beat this Flint guy, then you'll probably be fighting her. Tomorrow.
Well, but Vivian fights today also, no?
She does. She's fighting Russell. So
oh well, she'll probably beat that guy. So yeah.
Yeah. It would be an upset if he were to win.
Yeah. He didn't look that good in the match I saw that he did. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to say. And then eliminated last night was this is weird. So like there's some of the eliminations last night. I don't think you knew any of them or fought any of them, except Helen Uskun did not. She lost by default.
Oh, you mean she didn't show up?
Yeah, no, she didn't show up. So Numi Tenyin was her opponent, and she's gonna be able to advance in the losers bracket. So I thought that would be interesting news for you.
Yeah,
that seemed weird.
Hey, yeah, weird. I make a mental note to have someone check on her just to make sure she's alive, after last night. But yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, so the Gardens, all the loser bracket fights are just going to be once again.
I have a question. This might be a weird question. But maybe you know. What are the rules of using magic in the rink? Because I know that several users, like, well, I won't name names, didn't use magic. But what are the official rules on using magic in the arena and in the matches?
Well, this is a test of your martial skills as a unarmed combatant.
Oh, I agree with you. But what are the official rules?
So no weapons, and I'm pretty sure no magic. Definitely no weapons. I think no spells. Yeah. I think no spells. I think the rules specifically very definitely say that there will be no spell casting, and no weapons. I would think like if you could.
How about like magical devices? You know what, Phoebe?
That would count as like a weapon, yeah. That would like if so you would.
I don't know. I've just fought this Flint before, and I just want to make sure that in the rules it clearly states no magic will be used.
Yes, I don't think like that's how it's termed. I think that like it's no spells, no weapons, no like devices. I think there's an exception that is case by case for like prosthetics,
Sure. I mean, obviously disabled people should have I'm more like if somebody like made an individual faster by touching them, like how would that be looked at by the rules?
That sounds like cheating to me.
I agree. I just want that to not happen.
I mean, if there's a way to do it that like doesn't match one of the ways in the book, that would be like an oversight they'd have to fix sometime, and probably like have to make an on the spot ruling for it. Because I mean, it sounds like that would be like a spell, or it would
I
be like
agree.
a device or something.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not like the expert on the rules. But it does sound very, very.
Sounds nefarious, doesn't it? Yeah,
It does. It sounds very
somebody
untoward. It
taught
sounds like
you like
cheating.
that. It feels like it would be
Yeah.
cheating. No, yeah,
Yeah,
I
it feels like
agree. I would
yeah.
never, because that's just wrong to do so in a match like this. That's supposed to be a test of strength. So
Yeah, this is I mean this is a test of martial skill. You know, the idea is that you don't have, even if you know how to use weapons really well, like you, obviously I've seen you carry that really pretty sword. You probably know how to use it, I imagine. But
and
there
I
could
would
be like
never bring it in the ring, of course.
right, and the point is there could be a reason, a situation where you don't have access to it, like maybe you forgot it or whatever, but you don't have it, and so this is a test of your ability to fight um, when you don't have those things available.
I agree with you, Phoebe. I agree.
It's a discipline.
It is. Well, I slap her on the back. I know that you and I will always be honorable, and in both the rink and in your duties.
I mean, I could only hope to ever be like half as good as you are someday. But I will. I practice. This may be the first time like she's kind of actually stated that she is learning herself. Um,
Well, if you ever want some tips and tricks, you know I'm your gal.
oh, but believe me, I have been watching you, and your fighting style is very interesting. But yeah, um, anyway, are your managers, are they coming as well, or
Oh, for sure. I look around to see if any of them are up yet in the lobby.
Drew is probably in the lobby.
I am not going to appear behind you because I don't want to get hit.
Yeah,
But I will join you because I see Phoebe there, and I will say, "What's the haps?" Which is definitely a thing that I say all the time.
pardon me.
What's the haps? What's going on? How you doing? Having a good day? Having a good
Oh,
morning? Good morning, right?
so far it's well.
Yeah.
So we were discussing the fight, and rules. We
Good,
are
good. What rules specifically were we talking about here?
well, if magic was allowed. Oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, sure, yeah.
But yeah, we were also talking about how Helen Uskun, who Zane fought 2 days ago, was a no-show for her fight last night. And so now she's like defaulted out of the tournament.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, nobody knows. This seems really weird. She seemed like she was, probably going to do really good and maybe get a crack at whoever was going to be in the winners bracket. But I suppose we'll never know now.
Yeah, pressing. She's like a diplomat, right, or something like that. Maybe it was like a pressing diplomat thingy.
I don't know that she is. I know her. Like I know her. Like her family is.
Oh, her family. Okay, I thought she was I just thought she was like a fighting diplomat. Like that's what they have their country or something. That would be really cool.
I think all diplomats should be able to fight. Like that's because you're leaving like your country. You're right, so you should be able to fight and hold your ground. Like
yeah, definitely.
I mean, who wants to follow someone that isn't going to be able to stand their ground against a threat or a danger?
Hey, speaking of standing your ground, after we're done doing this, I'm gonna need to go visit some family. that has like a foresty thing, and I want to like make them a picture. Do you know if there's like an art supply store around where I can find art supplies?
There's so many art supply stores around.
Great. That's good to know. Like if I like throw like a rock, will I hit one? Like in a general direction?
If in East Home you would, maybe not here.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw a rock. Too many windows. Be really inconvenient.
Yeah, and a lot of those windows in this area are connected to like guards. Directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the windows that are the problem. But yeah. So hey, so we're fighting today. So fighting is definitely what's happening today.
It is.
I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, load up on protein.
Protein.
Right, and then once we're done with breakfast and everything, we'll head over to the gardens.
That's great. Hey, I see Canius over there. I'll be right back. One of the other managers, and I'll be right back. Is where I will be.
I would probably run and talk to Lex real quick and send Lex to run and let Shaelune and Rojelio know the flight is at 11.
And I'm going to go over to Drew and go, hey, Drew?
Oh, hi.
Hey, yeah, so guess who didn't show up to their fight last night?
Lady Uskun?
Yeah, that's a terrifying guess, right?
I hope she's all right.
Yeah, and she said she was checking out and going back to her house. So I don't know how invested you are in the fight, but maybe one of us should go to her house and check to make sure the people with rifles didn't decide to make a reappearance.
That's probably a good idea.
Not that I want to start an international incident, but you know what? It seems like an inevitable thing.
Yeah. Do you want to go there? Do you want me to come with you? Do you want me to go?
Really wanted to see the fight. Why don't you? Because I had some shopping I had to do after. So maybe I can do all the things. But yes, I think because I was kind of the cause of all this, because I got a little obsessed, maybe I should go check on Lady Helen. And then if I have time, I'll make the fight. I don't know when the fight is, but I think they're going right after breakfast. So you should go along to the fight, and then maybe if Helen is there. Yeah. Yes, I like this plan. It's a good plan. It's a good plan.
All right. And if I don't hear from you by the time the fight's over, I'll come looking.
That's good. That's good. Yes. Good plan. We're gonna be back up for each other. It's gonna be great. Everything's fine. I'm sure everything's super fine, I'm sure.
If you do see them, the witch hunters, maybe find a way to get a message to one of us before you run off and follow them or anything.
Actually, my idea that I had was I was going to sneak up behind one and like try to steal one of their rifles and replace it with a banana, and then we could get the rifle back. And like if it's like a secret super rifle, maybe it could be like replicated. But more important is make sure Lady Helen's safe. That's like a secondary. It's like a secondary thing.
Just be careful, I guess. Whatever your plan is, just be careful.
Just checking in, making sure. That was I needed to ask her anyways. I wanted to get kind of the lowdown on what the forest looks like, so I could do like some stuff so that we kind of knew what we were walking into visually. So it works out. It's all going to work out. I'm just going to go make sure she's, doing okay, and yeah, that's sure it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. And then Perunyia, Zane will win their fight, and that everything's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. It's going to be good. It's going to be good times.
All right.
Yes.
Well, just be careful.
Luckily, they don't think I'm a witch, so like maybe they'll just ignore me too. Like, no.
That is possible. If I went, they would try to kill me. So
I mean, it just kind of annoy me that I wasn't like special enough for them to attack, but then like he had a friend that was able to shoot rifles, and like he was so much better at it. And it annoys me when people do things like that, just like feel like they're copying people that were really good at it. But it's either here or there. But yeah, so for the fight, I'm gonna go check to make sure Lady Helen's okay, and I'm totally not gonna get murdered. And I will definitely see you later. That's what we're gonna do.
I
okay.
finished my breakfast in record time to be ready to go with Phoebe. You
You're
are
muted.
muted.
Phoebe waits until everybody that is heading out to the fight is ready to go, and then she turns and exits the hotel, and you head for the SkyTrain to make your way to the Silver Yards, where she will lead you to the gardens. But that will have to wait until our next session,
Bum, bum.
because it is we have passed the mark of starting new scenes. And that session will be on the 5th, because the 29th is stuff happening. Oh yeah, it's Rem being out of town.
I'll be fulfilling your comic book, Danny.
Yeah, it's important. So the
I'll
5th
be at
will
the
be
beach, so
dreaming about a fight.
My international, because Super Bowl Sunday is my international. How many?
no,
wings,
that's the 12th.
how many wings?
That's the
Okay.
that's
You're
the
good.
12th.
You're
That's not my how many wings can I stuff in my face day.
That's right.
Yeah,
We're good
yeah.
on the 5th.
So we'll see everybody on the 5th for sure at the gardens. And
I hate that I'll be thinking about this for literally the next week.
Yeah.
But yes.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, God. Oh, killing me, Danny. Killing me.
there's a lot of things you guys got to figure out. And with that, we will see you in 2 weeks on the 5th, same time, same channel, like Clockwork.
Good night, universe.